For most of human history, we have believed that civilization began with us. Our cities, our technologies, our written languages, our ability to bend nature into something that serves our survival. Yet in the vast scale of Earth's history, humanity is a flicker, less than a heartbeat in a story that stretches back billions of years. The continents have shifted, oceans have risen and vanished, and life has passed through endless cycles of creation and destruction. It is here that a provocative question emerges. What if we are not the first? What if other civilizations, different, ancient, and now forgotten, rose long before us, leaving behind only whispers buried in stone, sediment, and silence? This is where the Great Filter hypothesis collides with the mystery of deep time. The Great Filter is a concept born from the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. It begins with the Fermi Paradox. If the universe is filled with planets, stars, and countless opportunities for life, then why do we not see evidence of it? Why are the skies so silent? Why are we apparently alone? The Great Filter offers a possible answer. Somewhere along the path from simple chemistry to advanced civilizations capable of space colonization, there are enormous, almost insurmountable barriers. A filter so powerful that it destroys nearly all who attempt to pass through it. For example, the origin of life itself might be a nearly impossible step. The leap from single-celled organisms to complex multicellular ones may be vanishingly rare. The emergence of intelligence capable of tool use could be one of history's rarest miracles. Or perhaps, civilizations self-destruct when they develop advanced technology, annihilating themselves through war, ecological collapse, or something far worse. The troubling implication is this. If the Great Filter lies ahead of us, then humanity has not yet faced its ultimate test. That would mean most civilizations in the universe are destroyed after reaching a level like ours. Nuclear weapons, artificial intelligence, climate instability, the seeds of collapse hidden within the very tools of progress. But there is another possibility, one that shifts the perspective from the stars to our own planet. What if the Great Filter lies behind us? What if life on Earth has already attempted civilization long before us and failed? This idea reframes everything we know about history. Humanity might not be the pioneers of civilization, but rather the survivors of a long cycle. Advanced societies may have risen during ancient epochs, achieving technological heights, only to vanish. Destroyed by natural catastrophe, cosmic impact, runaway climate events, or even self-inflicted collapse. If so, we would not be unique. We would be inheritors. But if these ancient civilizations existed, where are they? Why don't we see their ruins, their machines, their art, their evidence? The answer lies in the crushing weight of geological time. Earth is not static, it erases. Mountains rise, oceans swallow continents. Glaciers grind stone into dust. In just 10,000 years, human cities would vanish beneath forests, deserts, and oceans. In 1,000,000 years, only fragments would remain. In 100 million years, nothing recognizable would survive. If another civilization thrived 500 million or 1 billion years ago, its traces would almost certainly be gone. Fossilization is rare. Geological recycling is constant. Even the materials of skyscrapers would return to dust and minerals. The Earth is a relentless editor, deleting all but the most durable signatures of life. This leads to a haunting thought. We may not be the first intelligence to call this planet home, but we may never know for certain. And here, the Great Filter connects to a deeper truth. If civilizations can rise and vanish without leaving evidence, then survival is not guaranteed. Progress is not permanent. The silence of the stars might not mean life never emerged. It might mean that life destroys itself again and again. So, what does this mean for us? Are we living before our own collapse? Or after countless others? Geological processes are relentless. Mountain ranges erode, oceans rise and fall, tectonic plates recycle the crust into the mantle, and ice ages scrape away the surface. Over a span of even a few million years, nearly all traces of human industry, our cities, our machines, our satellites, would vanish. Plastics would degrade, metal structures would rust into dust, and glass would crumble. Only a thin chemical fingerprint in the geological record might remain. This concept has been explored in the so-called Silurian hypothesis, proposed by NASA scientists Gavin Schmidt and Adam Frank. They asked, if an industrial civilization had existed tens of millions of years ago, would we even be able to see its evidence today? Their conclusion was sobering. Most likely we wouldn't. The primary traces could be anomalous carbon deposits, changes in isotope ratios, or evidence of sudden warming similar to what our current industrial activity is causing. For instance, humanity's fossil fuel burning leaves behind distinct chemical markers in sediments. If another civilization had burned hydrocarbons on a massive scale, it could have left behind a similar signature. This connects directly to the Great Filter hypothesis. If life is common in the universe, but intelligent civilizations are rare or non-existent, then something must be stopping them from surviving long enough to expand across the stars. The filter could lie behind us, meaning it is extremely rare for life to even get as far as multicellular organisms or intelligent beings. If that's true, humanity is extraordinarily lucky. But the filter could also lie ahead of us. In that case, nearly all civilizations self-destruct before reaching interstellar expansion. If Earth once hosted another advanced civilization, its disappearance could be direct evidence that civilizations inevitably collapse. We might not be the first, and if history repeats itself, we might not be the last to fall. Some scientists argue that the fossil record provides no evidence of an advanced civilization predating humanity. Complex tool-making species like us leave behind very distinct fossils, bones, tools, even carvings. And so far, none have been found beyond the current human timeline. But others argue the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Civilization, as we know it, has existed for only about 10,000 years. That's a microscopic fraction of Earth's 4.5 billion year history. If another civilization had thrived even 100 million years ago, erosion, volcanism, and plate tectonics would have buried nearly all traces deep beneath the Earth's crust. The oceans themselves, constantly renewing their floors, would erase almost everything. What we're left with is a geological puzzle. The deep time record may contain clues, but deciphering them requires distinguishing natural climate shifts from artificial ones. And so far, science has only begun scratching the surface. The possibility of a lost Earth civilization ties into a much larger cosmic mystery, the Fermi Paradox. If the universe is teeming with billions of habitable planets, why don't we see evidence of alien civilizations? No signals, no megastructures, no colonization trails across the stars. One possibility is that civilizations rise and fall quickly. They never last long enough to reach interstellar distances, and thus, the universe remains quiet. If that is true, then humanity's silence is not mysterious at all. It is inevitable. We might just be another temporary flare of intelligence, destined to disappear before we leave lasting marks on the cosmos. When scientists search for extraterrestrial civilizations, they often look for techno-signatures, evidence of technology that cannot be explained by natural processes. Examples include unusual atmospheric chemistry, massive structures blocking starlight, or directed radio signals. If an ancient civilization existed on Earth, the only comparable signatures would be geochemical. Perhaps unusual concentrations of heavy metals, radioactive isotopes, or evidence of synthetic molecules that do not occur naturally. Our plastic waste, if buried deeply enough, might survive millions of years as a strange fossil material. But for a civilization that collapsed tens of millions of years ago, only the faintest chemical whispers might remain.